About 30 years ago, I received a call from a longtime friend, a nurse in a small village. She knew a single mother who was finding herself totally overwhelmed by strange phenomena in her home. She told me that this mother, Emma, was worried about her young son, Lucas, aged 6. The situation terrified her to the point where she didn't dare let him sleep alone. I arrived at this simple, somewhat isolated house on a rainy, late afternoon. A feeling of heaviness hung in the air. The windows seemed dark, even in broad daylight. When I rang the bell, Emma opened the door, her eyes rimmed and her nerves on edge. She led me straight into Lucas's room, where most of the incidents seemed to be concentrated. The first photo I took that day shows the bedroom door ajar, revealing an untidy space, as if the boy had fled in panic. In the center, the bed, with a deep void beneath it, seemed to attract all the attention. There was something particularly oppressive about this place, something indefinable. Emma explained that Lucas had been talking about a friend under his bed for several weeks, a friend who was becoming increasingly invasive. The night it all began, Lucas had screamed, waking his mother. She found him sitting on his bed, staring at the empty space beneath it, his eyes wide with terror. I took a photo of this reconstructed scene. A stuffed toy spilled on the floor and a broken toy, as if something had tried to run away at full speed. Emma told me that she often finds things out of place in the morning, even when she's sure that she's tidied up the night before. I decided to spend the night in the bedroom to observe what was going on. Darkness seemed to envelop the room like an icy cloak, and the air had grown heavier. Over the course of the evening, I captured a series of photos of the room, hoping to capture something unusual. But the only thing visible was the oppressive silence and palpable anxiety. At around 2 a.m., a thud broke the stillness of the house. I straightened up, camera in hand, ready to capture the slightest image. The closet door creaked softly, as if someone were slowly opening it. Just then, I spotted Lucas in the shadows, staring at the underside of his bed with an absent, almost mechanical air. He was muttering incomprehensible words, a voice that didn't seem to belong to him. I took a photo in the half-light, capturing his frozen gaze. Suddenly, an icy breath was felt in the room, and a hoarse growl emanated from under the bed. Camera in hand, I snapped a few quick shots. What I saw in the images afterwards chilled my blood. A dark, blurred shape seemed to crawl under the bed, as if trying to escape the light. At that moment, Lucas let out a sinister, emotionless laugh that could not belong to a child. I rushed to pull him to his feet, but he backed away, staring at me with a blank stare. Emma, who had heard the noise, rushed into the room, and when she saw me, she realized that all this was beyond what she could have imagined. In the days that followed, I continued my investigation, focusing on Lucas's bed. I discovered scratches under the box spring, as if something had tried to cling to it. I took several photos of these marks, terrifyingly precise scratches that seemed to form mysterious patterns. Another night, when I was alone in the room, I took a shot in the direction of the half-open closet. Later, as I developed the photos, I could make out a strange silhouette, like a reflection lurking in the shadows. Lucas continued to behave strangely, sometimes whispering to his friend, sometimes bursting into ominous laughter for no apparent reason. Emma was devastated, exhausted. One evening, as I was asking her about the history of the house, she revealed a disturbing detail. The previous tenant had left the premises in a hurry, leaving all his belongings behind. He had claimed that there was something under the bed, a presence that haunted him every night. Finally, after several weeks of investigation, I recommended Emma leave the house, but she couldn't afford such a luxury. She simply thanked me, with tears in her eyes, saying she would do anything to protect her son. I took one last photo of Emma, her face exhausted, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. I never heard from them again, but when I think back on the affair, I can't help wondering if, even today, Lucas and his friend are still there, lurking in the shadows under that same bed.